Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Another Thursday night in the Riverbend. That means the sea shanty sing-along already underway down at Morrison's Irish Pub. I haven't checked on that in a long time, so maybe I'm wrong about that, but I do know one thing. Riverbend Talent is on the air every Thursday night at 6 o'clock, thanks to Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. What else is going on tonight? We got Nick Buffano and Taryn Smith playing at Johnson's Corner tonight from 7 to 9. Usually have an open mic at the Conservatory. You may want to check before you head out there. Cross the Line, 6 to 10 tonight at Fast Eddie's in Alton. Joey Miner, the Well Hungarians, underway up at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville until 9. The Grand Illusion, Mr. Scott Marlin, part of that. 7:30 tonight at the Wild E Theater. It may be sold out. I think it was last I checked, but not sure if that was the Thursday night show. The Heaton Brothers, underway already at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville until 9 o'clock. Psychedelic Symphony going to take the stage at 7 o'clock tonight at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville, scheduled to go till 10. Tim Crosby, who's not been sued by Terry Rogers, but probably not related to the other Crosby. Tim Crosby, 6 to 9 tonight at the Peel Wood Fire Pizza in Edwardsville. Salmon Creek, 7 o'clock tonight at Deutsch Village Inn in Pontoon Beach. Down in Granite City, they're having Christmas at the Mill with our favorite duo, Scott and Michelle. 6:30 to 8:30 down there in Granite at the Mill. We also got Road to Point Fest tonight. Let's see. Session 2 with Dark Surface, Hard Handed, Motel Addicts, Nidra, and the Downbads, who have been on the show. 6:30 tonight at Pops in Sauget. We got the open mic up at Mississippi Culture in Staunton from 6:30 to 9:30. The Strings and Keys are playing over in St. Charles. Thanks for the invite there. 7 o'clock at Rebar in St. Charles. And the band feel Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now, your favorite part of the show. We introduce our video producer, Lydia Copeland, as the star of the show, just for her dad.
Oh, man.
Senora Big Pen.
She is now the star of the show. She always has been, though, since she did our intro, when she was like a little girl 10, 11 years ago. So there you go.
100% agree.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, man, another fantastic Thursday night, even in this frozen tundra. And if you're brave enough to get out there, there's plenty to do. Man, and Road to Point Fest again already.
Yeah, second session already.
It feels like the last one just finished. Downbads.
And I believe our friend Birds of Squalor, who we talked to recently, are in session 3, I believe.
I think I saw that today when I was actually looking this up. But the Downbads in this session that's playing today, right? Yeah.
I always think of that song When the Downbads Go. Oh, right. Remember that song, Where the Downbads Go?
I do now. Oh, man. So, hey, you know what else is going on in addition to all this?
A lot, probably.
I'll tell you what's going on that I don't know. I don't think it has gone on yet. I think this will be a first, right? And that is Jake's leg playing at the Conservatory.
Oh, okay. That's December 12th.
I don't mean it's going on tonight. In my mind, it's already going on. If I close my eyes, it's happening now.
We don't want to know what's going on in your mind.
Yeah. Nobody does. I don't even want to know. I stay awake so I don't dream. All right. Anyway, so our guest tonight, returning to the show for I don't know how many times now.
Our neighbor.
Our neighbor, that's right. Our neighbor, our friend, our compadre, possibly, more than that. He's a good-looking man, that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, dang.
Very handsome man. We're going to see where the evening goes.
This is the greatest interview 5 blocks from my place.
Right.
I was showing up 2 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. He walked out the door at 2 minutes to 6.
The truck didn't even get warm up. Thank you guys for having me. I love coming and hanging out with you guys.
Hey, man, thanks
We've had
for...
some deep conversations in the last couple through.
Yeah.
And I brought something to show you. I'm too excited to hold
I
it
can
back.
tell.
You can't
My
wait.
brother just got this. You know, me and my brother, heavy metal deep. My brother Gary, what's up? So Igor gave me
Oh,
this. So I could have brought in the coup de grace, but it's not all here in Alton. But so I was going to bring in my dime bag pick from the 367 show, and you'd be like, oh yeah. And I also have a custom drum head from Max Caballero that he does these, one of a kind drum heads on his tour bus.
Yeah.
My brother, God bless him, we just went and saw some heavy metal last weekend for his birthday, in the ice storm. We went out anyway. Igor's son gave this to my brother to give to me the last time the Caballero conspiracy just came through. I think it was like at the Red Flag or something like that. So he'd been trying to get this stick for me all my life. So I got one. I thought I'd bring it in here and show it to you because your heavy guys are heavy metal deep like me.
yeah.
Rooted in the heavy music. So real quick, what did you go see last week?
We went to the Red Flag, actually, and saw a bunch of tributes to everybody, Pantera, System of the Down. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the Ozzy tribute, and our friend of our friend, our buddy, his name's Buddy, and he's a drummer from Chicago, and we made
Wait,
friends.
he's a drummer from the band Chicago?
No, there you go. Buddy from Chicago, not the band. No, he was in town playing drums for the Ozzy band. He's actually was with a Pantera band that we were friends with. They were called
Cemetery Gates.
What's that?
Was it Cemetery
They were from
Gates?
Chicago. They were
No, it wasn't. It was a different one.
Domination. That was their
Okay,
name, and they started the dime bag thing over at Pops, which me and my brother go to every year.
Right. That's the Cemetery Gates band.
Yes, they had the Slayer band there last year. It was great. Oh man, they were good.
I think Conquest plays usually.
Yes,
Yeah,
my brother
Adrian, man.
My brother just got tickets in the mail for Dime Fest from Conquest. That's my brother, man. He's all over it.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
And why do we talk metal with
We just go
the
right
drummer
into metal.
from Jake's Leg? Because
Well, I can answer that question.
Yeah, you wanna answer?
90% of the musicians who sit in here who now play bluegrass or country or hippie, almost all of them started with punk rock and heavy music. Because as a youngster, it's just how it is, man. You're angry. That there's all that angst built up. There's this release, and it's just fun music.
It's really special for me and my brother because we loved, because of obviously the brother thing, Daryl and and Benny,
Dimebag
and
Alex and Eddie.
Well, we even considered like Lars and what's his name, the lead singer of Metallica.
Lars and the other guy.
Yeah, Lars and the other guy, brothers.
Tom Jimmy.
Yeah. And,
Hey, let's not forget the Thompson twins. No.
yeah. Well, then you had the coup de grace. Probably me and his shared favorite is tied between Pantera and Sepultura.
Okay.
Yeah.
They both got brother,
both got-
guitar player, drummers in it, and that unique start of a band has something in it. It really does. I mean, it's the brotherly love, obviously, in Dimebag and Vin, but growing up together, playing music, and then starting a band together. Oh, it's if you can keep it going, those two bands are kind of like we're tied. We love them both.
Well, and like you say, you always think, oh, you want your bass player and your drummer to really, that's your rhythm, man. You want them to lock it. But there is something about the guitar player, drummer brothers, like we said Van Halen. I mean, it just works.
That drums and heavy, really go with the rhythm guitar more than bass line, and maybe there's probably some parts, that's different, but I think the structure, like Dimebag and Vin writing all those songs together, you can hear it, how they crunch the bass and snare together with his riffs. It's like, okay, just throw some bass in there.
Hey, Rex, just do your thing, Bob.
Rex is awesome. I can't knock Rex. The whole
is.
band was great, but I think that was. That makes me a guitar-oriented drummer, like we've been talking about. God bless Joe. Joe's the most amazing bass player I ever played with in my life, and he's
But you're taking your nod.
virtuoso-esque. He does his thing. I'm hanging on.
We have twins in our band.
Yeah, you did.
Brothers,
Yep. Yeah,
guitar and drummer, and that's part of the connection with Ryan and me. As you came in one night and realized I did your favorite metal show of all time.
Yes, that's right. That's right. The Mosh Pit.
Yeah.
You know, best request show of my youth. You know, and no other place could you call in Dead Skin Mask and you know what you're talking about.
For sure. And I was taught by all the listeners because, man, did we listen to a wide range of stuff.
Play some Man-O-War.
Yeah, King Crimson. You know, I'm sure you got some gnarly requests. All the Slayer requests were coming from Staunton, me and my buddy.
Okay, yeah. And there's another connection because Benel is right there, and that's where our rhythm unit came out of, the Twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, my brother and I talked about the show the other night, the one in this display case show over in Bethalto or Cottage Hills. He said it was a VFW. The one with the tile floor and the drop tile ceiling. We had a mosh pit going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's like an 8-foot ceiling with a full-on show going on.
You know, God bless us. We came to those shows ready to pit. You know, that's what we call it. You know, ready to go to the pit. 367 used to let us go at it. We speaker dived out of there, you know.
Somewhere I still have a video of you know, sometimes you play Club 367, and if you were with the right people, you could get a decent crowd, but it takes 1,000 people to fill up that building.
Big place.
And a lot of times you got 20 to 30 people. They don't even fill the dance floor. And so at a show we were doing, there's 30 people there. So I invited them all on stage to have a pit on stage. And somebody was videoing it. We watched it for years because my buddy who did security there is trying to maintain control. And there is no control. There's 30 people just going crazy on stage.
Yeah, what was that guy's name? I remember exactly who you're talking about.
Man, I used to go to, he lived right behind Club 367. I'd go over there and party. We called him Mr. Consolidation. That's the name because every band needs to consolidate their gear in one area. Yep. And I can picture his face to this day, but still can't come up with his name. But anyway,
he was at all the shows, too.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he was at, every heavy metal show you went to, you'd see him there.
Well, my brother wanted to say thanks for producing all those shows, John. That's nice of you, man.
Thanks for remembering. I mean,
Oh, man, I tell you what, I still got all the stubs. You know, I got Sepultura Thanksgiving night stub. 92, my brother said.
I always
that show
tell
was
the
nice.
story about Pantera. So I'm working with the record label. They allow us to sell tickets for Pantera at Club 367. So we thought, let's go down to Pantera's Pizza and sell a bunch of tickets one night. So we got on the radio, and anyone who listens to that show knows there was tons of people listening. Yeah. So we thought this will be easy, man. We'll go down to Pantera's.
The one in Edwardsville?
No, right here it was Eastgate.
Yeah,
Eastgate, right? And no one showed up for tickets, and we felt really weird about that. And then it was like a year later, they're playing Riverport. We're whoa, what happened?
Yeah, what
unbelievable.
So between that 367 and Riverport, I think there was one show they did at the American Theater that was in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
But man. You're like, it was about a year apart that they went from 367 to this huge, and God love them. I loved every Pantera show I saw, but a lot of them you're like, dude, give me another half an hour, please.
Yeah,
I just don't want it to stop.
It's a deadly 90-minute.
I was going to say, but when you think about Vinny up there doing that for 90 minutes, that's an intense workout.
You know, he did a lot of work with D-Drum and on the custom triggers.
Yeah.
You know, and like we were talking about when triggers came into play, heavy.
Yeah.
On the kit, Vinny was like one of the, leading, he was working with the companies to get and he's got signature D-Drum triggers. You put that through any brain or whatever. I think they're kind of universal triggers, but to keep that such an attack, you know, and oh my gosh.
I was going to say that the trigger's just a pulse that's sent from here, but it's that brain that has the sound that they've created or whatever. And I think we discussed it last time. Before that, all live metal drums were muffled, were muddled because they're so fast that the overtones of the drum ringing doesn't have time to finish before you're putting another vibration fighting it. And it would create this weirdness, but with those triggers, pow, pow, there was this separation. Man, it took metal drums just sky high.
Whoever's doing the sound over at Red Flag's doing a great job with the kick drums.
That's
really
a tough place to run sound.
That's
they
not
must
an easy
have
room.
that thing packed with subs under that stage. It really got some really nice punch in there. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I love Red Flag because they're providing a place for a lot of bands that don't get an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
My brother saw the
But man, what a
Deftones
tough
there
room.
recently.
Who was it?
Deftones just
Oh,
came
yeah.
through there. Yeah.
Whew, man.
Yeah, it's a small club.
Yeah. And my son, who he's 19, and he had been into trap music, I'll call it, but as a youngster. And suddenly I'm like, we got in the car and he's like, hey, can I take over the radio? And he's putting on Clutch and the Deftones. And I'm like, dude, you're taking me back to like my youth right here, man.
That was 90s, right?
And yeah, well, like a lot of the more modern metal, I've lost touch over the years. But you did bring up one, System of a Down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was on Extreme 104.1, they were doing a lot of, I don't know, Korn, Limp Bizkit. It didn't hit me. Nothing against those guys. If that's your music, if that's your jam, that's your jam. But it didn't hit me.
Korn didn't hit me either.
It just, but then that System of a Down, there was a couple bands that came out in that era, and System of a Down was one of them where I was like, I'm excited to see this. Where a lot of times they send you to a show and you're like, yeah, okay.
It was like, some Slipknot, System of a Down, all those bands were coming
Slipknot
out. And there was like a mix of screamo, hip hop, heavy metal, punk rock, slam, and then they even did blast beat. Those heavy fusion metal. If you want to, you can go there now. Just say heavy fusion metal is Slipknot,
Meshuggah,
System of a Down.
Do Meshuggah. I don't know if you get into them guys. But, whoa, they're they're one of those bands that.
That's my brother's jam too. He loves those guys.
Those guys.
I
some of
think
their
what
timing
you're
is
talking
crazy.
about, though, is like the Extreme playlist was the band you just mentioned. And then all of us knew about Pantera and Sepultura, which is like the underground stuff from the same era, basically.
Yeah.
I just found a Soulfly shirt. When I was digging out Christmas tubs out of my shed or whatever for my wife, I opened up one of the tubs and it was a bunch of old concert T-shirts with a Soulfly shirt right on top, and it's a Crew shirt. It says Crew on. I'm like, oh, that's killer.
So my brother ended up hooking up with Max at a Soulfly show in Chicago.
So one of my wife's
He's my brother's utility player when it comes to getting backstage. We were backstage at the show. He's like, "Come on, we're going backstage."
one of my wife's friends from like down DeSoto, Festus, Missouri area years ago at a Sepultura show had his leg broke in the pit.
Oh, dang!
And Max shows up at the hospital.
Yeah.
And they've been friends ever since. He's like Max will like have his kid and they'll go have lunch somewhere. You know what I mean? It's a super nice guys.
Did you go see Unknown and Sailing in the hospital when they broke their leg at a
No, but I was running sound on the stage, and I walked over just to watch them because we were bouncing back and forth between
their
stages.
drummer, maybe?
And I can't remember, but there was a little pit broke out.
Or no, it was probably someone going to see them.
It was one of their people that was, and a little pit broke out right there at the VFW, and somebody broke a leg.
It was nice to see a pit, though.
It happens.
I've moshed at a VFW before.
Yeah.
No stage to jump off, but we sure got it down on the tile floor.
I guess you don't see many mosh pits at Jake's Leg shows.
No.
Because we are talking to Ryan Wilhite.
Yeah,
that's
which
right.
we haven't introduced yet.
Did we not make it that far?
Ryan.
He got too excited, and Ryan got too excited. We're 20 minutes in.
We're excitable boys.
20 minutes in, we just got off Slayer.
Oh man!
Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, we're bringing the band to town next week. It's really cool. A little brainchild idea of mine. Got some locals involved, Pickin Daisies. The gals are going to play before. And got Mr. Mike Snyder involved, of course, with the Kooliverse.
Kooliverse.
Yeah, Caleb, everybody's down there so nice. And alt music's right next door. I just met so many great people here. And that is the stage for me in town. I was like looking around to play. I think it's a good setup. Great. We capped the show, 150 people. It's about half sold out now, so you might want to jump on it. There's a QR code on all the flyers and obviously links on our Facebooks and websites and whatnot. And they'll be available at the door if there's any left, but it's all like Eventbrite driven. Yeah.
And
it's going to be fun.
And a cap on that. I mean, you have to cap a place that size. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just going to be uncomfortable. But, man, that gives you a chance to see Jake's Leg and probably about the smallest venue that we're going to catch you guys?
You know, Venice might contend with that, but
Who's that?
Venice Cafe might contend.
Okay,
You know, I'll tell you, Venice is a love-hate for our fans. You know, it's a tiny place. Jeff's our best friend in the world. So
right.
We're going to continue playing there, but
it is it's crowded if you go in there. So it is that love-hate. Like you love to see your favorite band in a more intimate spot. However, if you can't move your elbows and shake your tail feathers a little bit, you know, it does get.
I thought Caleb said it right. You know, about 150 people does it nicely in there. Spread out and experience the art too. You know,
it's cool.
Yeah, he's so awesome. I just love Mike. He's one. You know, like I said, I've met so many great characters here. But you know, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again. You know, the way it's selling, we just released it. I had some things going on in my personal life, just got back to reality, and I was like, I got to release this show. I need to release this show. I released it like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and I was like just getting on it, and then we talked. You know,
I was going to say, you just finally sent me the info like a couple weeks ago, but it was over the summer when you were at my house that was the first I heard you mention this, where you're like, hey,
actually, you mentioned it on the show last time.
Did he? Yeah, I was going to say that was you know, you had been at my house one day, one afternoon, we were hanging out, and you cracked that idea, and I'm like, man, that's a good time right there.
It's fun, local show,
and it's the kind of place like the Wilhite Theater. Love the Wilhite Theater. It's a great place. However, if you want to dance, it's not the greatest place to dance. And my wife is a dancer. So, you know, if you guys are playing somewhere where any band really where she can't get up and dance, this is it's going to be a hootenanny right down there.
It's going to be fun. I was see if we can, you know, we'll clear all those tables out. You know, they're in the stage room and get a nice rectangle out there, grooving. But yeah, no mosh pits. What we do have in Jake's Lake world is the most unbelievable local fan base you could possibly ever ask for in the history of fan bases. We are wrapping 49 years right now with the guys, and this is my 20th year with the band, and it's unbelievable to me. It's like 1,800 shows I've played with them. You know, Randy and those guys are probably in 6,000 or whatever. You know, 8,000 shows. I don't know. It's a lot. You know, and we're starting to get a little bit of attention because we're going to go into JL 50. I love the name of it. Jake's Lake 50 next year. And it's going to be a big celebration. We got a bunch of stuff planned. We're finishing off this year with just like 4 more shows. The Conservatory. We got the Oyster Bar downtown. Then Focal Point. We're doing acoustic, which is really great. We have Brad Sarno. He's pedal steel player from St. Louis coming to play with us. Gosh, it makes it fun just saying it. You know, Sarno Music Solutions is his company, and he's just an amazing guitar. Pedal everything. Hi, Brad. I love you, man. So blessed to have Brad come out. And then we're going to finish it with the 20 North Reunion at the end of the month at the Rock House. So all of them have pre-sales except for the Bobs. Walk it up, you know. But yeah, the next year, 50 years. It's crazy. You know, it's really hitting home, I think, for all of us, you know, but especially for Randy and Dave. You know, like the Grateful Dead Radio was just talking about Randy and Dave going to turn 50 next year from St. Louis. A lot of little tension coming like that. Was, you know, a lot of media starting to line up, and we've got a couple venues posed to open the show. We're really eyeing up the new venue over there, the Sovereign, which is everybody's raving about. It's a brand new club over on, it's right in the Grand District, right over by the old Katie Chuck's building. Yeah. Big place. We're obviously going to go back, pageant or something like that at the end of the year for the 50 celebration. And looking like 25 shows next year. We'll probably do maybe 30. You know, we're going to really fan it out.
What was the name of that venue?
The Sovereign.
The Sovereign.
Yeah,
and it's a new one over in the Arts District, I guess.
Yeah, it's up towards downtown from like Grand and Fox, you know, area right there. Yeah. And great new renovation. Same owners we work with and production company, production guys we work with from the Rock House. Great partnership. We're going to be back at the Rock House bunch next year too. Hopefully we'll be back here at the Conservatory. But then we got the 20th Earth Tones Festival. 50th, 20th. We got 70 years of fun in one party next year. You know, I know we've already been asked to come back and play Earth Tones again for the 20th. That's going to be great. So it's such what a thing to be proud of. You know, when you run years like this, is with Sarah and her crew hitting 20 next year. That's a big deal for any music festival to make it that long.
I was going to say, any band, even if it's like a successful band, a lot of bands don't make it 20 years. A festival, going 20 years. I don't think Summer Camp made it 20 years before. I mean, I'm just saying that's. And I will say this, as someone who's thrown festivals, it's a lot of work, and that crew knocks it out of the park every time.
Every time.
I can't remember one time going to an Earth Tones going wah wah. I mean, it's always the music is good, the vibe is good. There's always good food, good and good people is a lot of what sells that. Is everyone's there to have a good time, not a hassle. Man, and I'm gonna tell you that last year's Earth Tones. Of course, Jake's Leg returning for 19 out of 20 years, but last year they had a Steely Dan band.
Oh yeah, my buddy J.D. Hughes' band.
Dude,
they're sight.
I told him as we were setting them up, and I'm kind of talking to the guys, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, man, like I'm a Steely Dan fan, so you better bring it, man. And as soon as they started playing, I went, oh, the tone, the sounds are right. The tone, and what I really loved about the way they did it is kind of like what a good Dead band or any really, to me, the way a good cover band does it is, okay, so yeah, they're going to play this song and they give you almost the album version because these people love this, but then they play the next one and it's not that album version. Yeah. It's still the song that everybody's dancing to, but yet, if they're playing, they kind of trail off into their own thing. You know what I mean? Exactly, they open it up, saying, and they just jam the song for a while. And man, I love that because they're keeping the crowd happy by giving them the thing, but then they're diving deep and playing some,
it's like delivery system or something like that. That break's coming, that guitar lick's coming, but how it's delivered to you and that. Like that energy that those guys bring, like Monstero brings. I hope Jake's Leg brings that good energy. Yeah. You know where it's going, but how the musicians get you there, it's like that becomes a good band. A good band, in my humble opinion. So
I look at it like you can memorize a song. We call it Tracing the Mona Lisa. You do it just like the album.
We call it that now?
Like that.
I've heard. I say we. I've heard him say that. I've heard Dennis say it.
I'll start calling it that though. I didn't get the memo.
My mom called it.
The memo.
My mom called it love. If you love something so much, you memorize it.
Yeah. Well, but I like the idea of learning a tune. Okay, so you don't. You know it like the album, but you don't have to play it like that. However. I said it to this guitar player from Bloomington, a friend of mine. I said, I like the way you jam because you're doing your own thing. Say he's playing a Tom Petty song. If there's a Campbell lick that sells that song, you hear that lick in his playing. You hear, even if he's doing his own version of it, you hear it. But he's not just playing Campbell's guitar line note for note. You know what I mean? He's doing, but he knows, and he actually. I brought him up to you before because when he went to see you guys for the first time, he's like, I don't like I don't like Grateful Dead cover bands. He's seen the Dead tons of times, back when Jerry was alive. And when I took him to see you guys at the old Rock House, he's like, all right, they do it good. Because he saw that you guys you were up there playing.
I like that they don't see us coming sometimes because people come, they hear the Grateful Dead thing, and then we've played like 6 Dylan tunes in a row, and then a Chris Christopherson song, or something like that, And then they're like, when are they playing some Dead, And that Jake's Leg we play a lot of songs. I liked. They kind of became it, before they didn't set out to be a Grateful Dead band.
Right.
They were like hanging out in St. Louis. They played a couple Dead songs, and the place went bonkers, and they're like, hey, maybe we should learn a couple more of those Dead songs, and they became like the beloved. It was kind of like given to them by the people. Started coming to the north for that, that Dead or that improv outlet. Well, I think it's really cool about the band being around for this long because of the fusion possibilities, in 70s you got standards, classic, rock, and you got jazz and blues bands, and then all of a sudden there's Jake's Leg playing this dumpy bar, mixing all that stuff into a pot every single night, So good that Chuck Berry decides to show up once in a while and jam with him. It's like, what the heck is going on, But that fusion, outlet that they gave the people in St. Louis in those early times. They tell me stories, in the 80s, there was like people would like spit on them for playing it. There was like, it went through like trials and tribulations, people didn't like the Dead like they like them today, and they just stayed with it, for so long. And then they'd see bands come, so many bands come and gone that they've told me about, that they used to, like, when they were young, get a little bit worried, this band, and then all of a sudden that band was gone and they're still there. And then it just kept on happening and happening over and over again. And now they're looking back and they're all like, oh, JL50. I was like, JL50. JL50.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to hear some of those stories. We've had Jake Slag on several years now, mainly because of Mississippi Earth Tones.
Well, we had them on 10 years ago because we had them on for their 40th anniversary.
We did.
We talked about, Randy talked about, the early days and how it wasn't a Dead cover band. It was just this band. And I tell you, I can remember you guys playing John Prine tunes. Like, man, I'm a huge Prine fan, so that stuff sticks out to me. But it's kind of like what you said, though. People come and you do 6 Dylan tunes, and then you do a Prine tune, but you could go to a Grateful Dead show and only hear 3 Grateful Dead songs in the whole
cover
time.
band too, right? That's one of our guys' jokes. He's like, Grateful Dead was the greatest cover band of all time.
They were.
Making it your own is making it your own,
Speaking of jokes, I want to address the Mona Lisa thing. Okay. because seriously, that was a joke I would tell.
Okay.
All right, and he just turned it into something else. I would tell a joke that I wonder if you could do cover art, where you had tracing paper and you just stood in front of a crowd and traced art.
The art.
That was the joke.
That was the joke.
And he's turned it into, that's what a cover band is called now, I guess.
We
call it tracing the Mona. First time I ever heard that.
Look,
but
in my mind, this has been going on for years, bro. Yeah, I'm living in the future. You got to realize.
I've also been holding a question for a minute for Ryan, because you talked about 20 years. And this question's always tough because there's a lot of good answers, right?
Yeah.
Give me some memorable shows in that 20 years. Pick out a couple really good ones. See, I told you this is always that question,
Caught me off guard. So
Right. That's my job.
Well,
he's choked up, folks.
Yeah, choked up because, well, you guys don't know, but just about a month ago, I lost my mom.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry to hear
that.
Sorry.
My mom and my dad were crazy into my music. So much so that they made my rehearsing at home, that was a priority in the house. If Ryan was playing his drums, people came over to visit and never told me to stop. And I'd stop playing in between songs and hear the TV up loud. So my favorite moment of all time, you'll never be, is backstage at the pageant, my first sold-out theater show. My dad grabbed a hold of me. He's like, "You did it!" I was like, "What are you talking about?" When you're driving that hard and working that hard for something, you don't see the achievements happening sometimes. They're just kind of happening. Very special moment, for me to remember, because you told me about this, you just want the lights to go out on you, and that was your dream when you were a kid. And now it's getting ready to happen. So they were upset in a great way. But my dad really respected my work ethic. It was really cool that he acknowledged that.
That's awesome.
So that one kind of dwarfs them all, and I had them, at 5 sold-out theater shows.
Nice.
And he didn't say the same thing every time. But, those have been my favorite moments is with my parents. Absolutely, 100%.
So
they've been so instrumental.
I'm putting this Jake Legs timeline together. So that's 30 years into their career. So I'm sure by the time you got in the band, you knew they were going to play some big shows, because they'd probably played a few big shows by then, right?
Again, my mom said that I was passionately blind. Because when you're really working at something that you love so much, and you do 3, 4, 5, 6 hour rehearsals a day, every day, my parents were like, "Holy crap, he's not going to stop,
Exactly.
And so they developed a respect for it, and they like work and work ethics, and but it gave me great joy to show them all this stuff, the backstage passes on them, and it was like the dream come true for all that. So Jake Slag did that, for me. Locally, whatever was going to happen, oh man, I think about that. It's like the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to top a moment like that.
Yeah, that's a great
pretty much it.
Hey,
Right, ends the ball.
You notice he didn't say one of the greatest was when Chuck Berry showed up to play.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Mike Gordon, I played with Fish is my favorite band in the whole planet Earth, and I got to play with Mike Gordon last year, and it still doesn't dwarf what my parents being there with me on those sold out shows.
Did you get to play with Chuck? Or is he
No, I've met
that
Chuck
was before. Right.
I've met Chuck thanks to Jake Slag. But
Look, if you wouldn't ask that question, everybody would think he played with Chuck.
no, I've met so many interesting characters. You know, Andy Cohen, he's like always hanging out backstage on the holiday shows, and everybody's like, "Hey, it's Cohen." I'm like, "Hey, it's Cohen." You know, he's a really cool guy, really down to earth, and we've just so it's been a lot of lucky experiences. But for me, it's like 20 years. I was reflecting on all the availability that I had to give up. You know, people don't realize, you know, when you say availability in music is like us 2 months ago starting to plan out next year and hashing out and dedicating weekends. When I first got in the band, it was about 48 of them, you know, were booked. And so that's what that's the availability you have to give. A lot of people drop out, you know. 20 years later, I'm glad I didn't. The guys are like my best friends in the whole planet. We're so close. We really care about each other. I think it shows in our playing on stage. We want each other to succeed, and we were supporting each other. So we're really not oblivious to the crowd until we do something right to ignite them sometimes, because we're really into it, you know, playing together. You know, I think that people like to see that. It's pretty real to me, and I believe that we're going out every night and playing something different. You know, we fanatically rewrite shows. We don't, you know, if we have to repeat, it's, you know, maybe special request type of thing, or maybe we want to do that sometimes ourselves, but we try to keep it fresh, you know, and I think that's key to definitely not why I've stuck around. There's some of the best musicians you could ever ask to play with. It'd be silly to quit those guys, but
and like you say, just downright nice guys, man. Casper, and you know, Range sweethearts. Just, you know, at least they've always been super kind to me, and I'm an easy guy to be mean to.
You know, it's their availability that they have to. You know, you want schnooks, and somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, Dave from Jake's Leg," you know, or something like that. You know, local fandom that they have, they take it very well. It makes us we're very private. You know, besides outside that, you know, it's like we give it all right there to Jake's Leg, and then we want to go away from it. So, but yeah, it's 20 years. It's wild. Yeah, it's so wild.
So December 12th, Kooliverse, Jake's Leg, Pickin Daisies, Conservatory, 8 o'clock.
Conservatory, 8 o'clock. Tickets on sale right now.
December 12th.
I think the last time I heard, we're about half sold. Eventbrite, you can find it on there. Or if you see the posters around town, there's a QR code on the front of it. Jeff Watkin, who's been doing art. I've known him since like 2010, probably, or something like that. Jeff, I brought him on to do art for Jake's Leg. He's done a huge poster series for us this year. And if I get my act together, that'll be the first time that the entire year is going to be available on print.
Nice. That's hard to do right there.
You know, I've had some delay of games going on in my life, but, you know, but they will be, for, you know, all those prints will be available. The print that he made for the Conservatory is really awesome. It's really great.
It's nice.
Really wintry, and got the Kooliverse. So we call it a Kooliverse evening with Jake's Leg.
I like it.
That's cool. And we need trumpets still.
Yeah.
For Kooliverse.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So if you got a trumpet laying
trumpets
around,
for Mike.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter if the trumpet works.
Nope.
And it's looking good. I've seen it, and
me too.
more trumpets would make it fabulous.
It's a monster.
So this is how much Mike is into what he does. You talk about, you know, sacrifice. It's not just availability, the time, the money, the relationships, all these things that you sacrifice, you know, to do your art. He has this trumpet mounted on like a 40-foot trailer that is this is no trailer, not like no play trailer.
Right.
This is the kind of thing you see big rigs towing down the road. And he had to purchase that trailer to build this piece of art on, because that's the only way you can move it around and
all to tribute Miles Davis, for those folks who are wondering what we're talking about. And he's got the basic frame built for the thing, and now he's wanting to add a bunch of trumpets to it, so he's looking for used trumpets, and he can drop those off at the conservatory.
If I remember right, the first time he discussed that, the first time he broke that idea out right here to us whenever we talked about it, if I remember right, originally he wanted to make a statue of Miles Davis playing a trumpet out of trumpets that was big enough you could see it from the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can see this one from the bridge.
This is just the trumpet, and you can see it from the bridge. So this is what I want to see, is whenever he finishes this trumpet, now we make a Miles Davis out of trumpets big enough to hold that. It'll be as big as the arch. It'll be as tall as the arch.
We had this great discussion about, I'm in the electrical industry, and about street lighting poles. I go, what do you need one of those for?
Yeah.
He's like, that's going to be like the center shaft of this big trumpet. And that bolt pattern on the end of it will come in real handy for the bell attachment. I'm like, oh, gosh. Let me see if I can find you a street light. And he found a street pole like before I could like make a phone call. you know? But it's really coming together. It's trumpet donations drop off at the conservatory. Contribute to Mike Snyder, Kooliverse's monster installation for our man Miles Davis.
And you can say your old trumpet is part of that giant monument.
You can etch on it. You do whatever you want to it. If it's not even put together or missing the valves, he said, it doesn't matter. Everything counts. I forget the number. It was well over 1,000.
It was.
It was. It's going to take a lot of trumpets to make one trumpet.
And he's trying to get it by the deadline, too, which is going to be tough because that's coming up, too.
But, man, so last year he had it down at Earth Tone, sitting behind the stage. Like I say, it's just that guy. I tell him all the time, you are working the biggest art out of anyone I know, other than architects maybe that are,
It's hard to, somebody doing like a 14-17 painting or something like that, and then you see his are like 6x6, 10x10. On the walls down there. Oh yeah. The vision he has for to blow up a piece of art like that is. I don't have that brain. I don't have that imagination. It's pretty awesome.
He is. Again, a fabulous artist and just a downright awesome dude. Just a nice guy, man. I'm so glad he ended up landing in our little town here.
I'll tell you what's awesome about our little town. We got an amazing music scene. You want to go over what's happening this weekend around the Riverbend? Well, Friday Night Lights, hosted by Noah Maserati Steele, down at Bubby's and Sissy's. We got Borderline at Fast Eddie's from 7 to 11. We got the Owls at the VFW on Friday night from 7 to 11. Dueling Pianos out at Baker's and Hale from 7 to 11 on Friday. And Kevin Wayne Gruen out at Locke's Brick House starting at 7 o'clock going till 10 on a Friday night. So that's just our immediate area. We also got down at the Mill, Drew Cagle and The Reputation. It's a 2015 ticket at the Mill in Granite City. We also got Andrew Dahl up at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville on Friday. Money Shot down at Patrick's in Granite City. The Fry Project down at Bendy's in Granite City. Let's see. Backstage at the Lake at Holiday Shores, a venue that's been doing some live music here in the last few months that I found. Maybe longer than that. I'm not sure.
Wigglers?
It is. It is.
Previously Wigglers, and before that it was called Hookers.
Yeah.
Hookers, then Wigglers. Hard to beat the names.
And tied to Backstage in Edwardsville. So,
and if you got some hookers backstage and they're Wigglers, man, wait a minute. What are we talking about? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm talking about the Backstage across the parking lot from the Wild East. So, those two places connected, as we found out from Carrie Lee. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. We love it when these musicians come on and teach us what's going on around the Riverbend. Speaking of Backstage, and guests we've had on, Pete Kreshak. Did I say it right? Do you remember?
Kreshak.
Okay. The Project. That's father and son. They'll be at the Backstage in Edwardsville at 9 o'clock. Graham Band around the corner at Big Daddy's on Friday night from 6 to 9. The Poor Dirty Astronauts around the other corner at the Stagger Inn again from 5 to 8. We got the Lost Cause duo at the Chop House, hoping to get a steak because they're playing that night. Lanny and Julie going to be at the Moose in Edwardsville on Friday, and Ghost Kitchen down at Long Shots at Fairmont Park in Collinsville, all on Friday night. And on Saturday, we got Ed Belling down at Bossa Nova from 7 to 10, where our guest, Ryan Wilhite, just played a show down there with the Pickin Daisies, I believe, right?
Yeah, playing percussion with that band.
Percussion, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And help. We rebuilt the sound system this year. It's been a lot of fun working with the gals.
Nice.
So, and Kerry Lee, who we talked about earlier, he'll be at Cat Daddy's on Saturday at 7 o'clock. Ming Lee hosts at 10 o'clock at Bubby and Sissy's in Alton. Naked Soul 1:30, Borderline 7 to 11 at Fast Eddie's on Saturday. And our buddy Soulshine Groove, they'll be out at Baker's and Hale on Saturday from 7 to 11. The Harvest Drive Trio will be out at Locke's Brick House from 7 to 10. And Super Jam down at the Pump House in Wood River, 9 o'clock. Tracy Inman Band, they'll be at the franchise in Wood River on Saturday at 8 o'clock, going till midnight. And the Backyard Blues Band, Special Ed, 7 to 11 at Chico's in Wood River. On a Saturday night, how about Mark and the Angry Heart? We'll be at the Grafton Pub on Saturday from 3 to 7. RHB Acoustic will be at Grafton Winery at the same time. And Kerry Lee doing a Christmas show at the Bloody Bucket Saloon on Saturday. Drew Lance out at George's Pub and Grill. And we got Pro Wrestling Epic, Chiba 2, Feliz Navidad.
That's happening.
Yeah, that's happening down in Pontoon Beach this time.
Nice.
The Field Sports Complex, Rosalini Mexican Flavors in Pontoon Beach. I'm trying to put that one together.
I'll
Got
be
Mexican
honest.
flavors and a sports complex combined, I guess.
And I'm trying to picture where this is in Pontoon Beach and what it is, and I really
They play football with burritos, apparently.
it's got my interest. I tell you that. There's a lot of words there.
Well, we got Elvis in town too on Saturday down at the Mill.
Thank you
With
very
the
much.
Blue Suede Crew.
Nice.
It's Scott Waddles doing the Elvis down there. And the scruffy-looking Nerf herder will be at Route 66 Kickstand in Granite City on Saturday. Pete Kreshak backstage at the lake. See, so they're playing backstage by the Wild E, and then they'll go out to the lake on Saturday.
I've
in
never
Holiday
played a
Shores.
gig backstage. Usually just chilling back there.
For sure. But all that going on, including a giant party out at the cabin at Judy Creek. We got the Double Wide Duo at noon, Jeremy Drake at 3, the Lucky Horseshoes at 6, and the Rocky Mountain Oysters at 9, all at the cabin at Judy Creek. And as you mentioned, Ryan, Dime Fest
Ooh, here we go.
with Cemetery Gates and Conquest at Pops and Sauget. That's happening Saturday. So there you go. Oh yeah, we got to always mention the original bands. Felicity with Impressions, Omissions, and Night Parks at Red Flag. We talked about Red Flag, giving that opportunity to a lot of original bands. You know, we mentioned Feel. I forgot to tell you where they're playing on Friday night, but they're playing in Providence, Rhode Island on Saturday. I'd have to backtrack, Pigpen, and see, but they're out there on the East Coast cruising around. Oh, it's Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
They were Harrisburg on Friday.
Yep, and then what I just said on Saturday. Oh yeah, Providence, Rhode
Providence,
Island.
Rhode Island. Yeah, those boys are moving and shaking. Good. I'm happy to see those guys out there doing it, man.
And on Sunday we got Psychedelic Symphony down at Shea Maryland's in Alton. We got Christmas concert with Levi McAtee with guest Kevin Hand
Oh yeah, I saw
from
that.
Halpin
Nice.
Music.
Love it.
Halpin Music Company. Halpin Music Company.
Was it Levi McAtee?
Yeah, it's
So it's Levi.
they're actually married now, but
they?
they're still calling it
Right.
Levi McAtee.
So Levi McAtee with my buddy Kevin Hand sitting in.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that dude is so much. We were just I was just discussing him with somebody. When he plays, he's out there. It's all he's not holding anything back. Yeah, he's just so much fun to watch because he's in 100% no matter what instrument he's on, what he's doing.
So they're putting on a Christmas concert out at Benjamin Godfrey Chapel at Lewis and Clark Community College on Sunday, and Pat Liston's going to be at Baker's and Hale in Godfrey on Sunday. So
And for
I'm
the
just
first
scratching
time,
the surface there.
for the first time ever, Pat Liston is going to blow the high note in Blue Mist.
Oh no, he's not.
I I know he never does. I just want to see him just mess it up one time so I know he's human. Just mess it up one time, bro.
We are talking to Ryan Wilhite of Jake's Leg, drummer, and talking about December 12th with Pickin Daisies and a Kooliverse night at the Conservatory. 8 o'clock start for that one. Tickets available at Eventbrite. And, I had to think about this for a second, but I'm pretty sure, like, the Grateful Dead has, like, 2 drummers and maybe a drummer and percussionist and maybe an extra percussion. How do you cover all that, Ryan? It's just you, right? You get any help?
You know, my best answer is kind of reinterpreting what my favorite years of the Dead were. 88, 89, some of those big, huge stadium shows.
Yeah.
Not so much the electronic drums that Mickey was doing, but my right hand's Mickey, my left hand's Billy. That's how I kind of put it that way. So
I love it.
You get the beat, with my kick in my left hand, and then the accents that I use on the toms. I play a big kit right now. It's about 7-piece drums, but it's got a full scale of toms on it to come down come down scale with the band and go back up scale with the band, which is something Mickey was doing the whole time. It's almost like a bass line he's adding in between accent notes on these toms. So it's really busy, but it's, Jake's Leg, they let me, like, create what I hear,
Okay.
And so I'm not really going after what they're doing, more of what it sounded like to me. So you'll see me constantly going back and forth. I do a ride hi-hat pattern at the same time to emulate 2 drummers playing.
Nice.
Because, a lot of time, when I play with Rob Koritz from Dark Star, when we double up once or twice a year, there's like this uncanny rule that you don't play bells at the same time type of thing. So if I'm on the hat, he's on the ride. I'm on the ride, he's on the hat. And so I do a cross-sticking in between them to give some ride fill and keep, the 2-3 or something like that on the hi-hat.
I've seen bands with multiple drummers, seen the Dead, the Grateful Dead a lot, but I never thought about that. If 2 bells are playing at the same time,
Can't wash you.
it is going to give some over rings that are going to get very muddled, I would say.
I think a lot of the time, Mickey was just playing accents with his right hand, or both hands, and those big, huge tom fills. I love those big fills. And big triplet type of runs, and like where they were positioning their preemptive strike, I always called it, from the Grateful Dead drumming, was like the 2 measures before the climax of the solo. They'd start, they'd start building that 2 measures before, ready, and by the time it hit to the guitar's peak, they were so reactive to where it was going that they were able to get ahead of it a couple measures. So I try to put a little bit of that thought into it, but mainly it's just I get to, a lot of fill work. I like it busy, and I'm definitely not a on the floor drummer at all with it. It's just not that band. So I kind of just created something that I believe in, type of thing, that's mine. Like Jake's Legs give me that blessing not to ever tell me, play it like this,
Nice.
or play it like that, They're like, play it the best you can. That's been our rule the whole time.
Yeah. Just curious, you ever dive into double bass drums with the Grateful Dead?
It's a good story, actually, because I was on double bass for a long time, obviously, and I have a double pedal, and I wasn't using it when I was first starting Jake's Leg, and I told my brother I should hook up my double pedal and freak those hippies out one night with some double bass quads or something. You should do it. And so, and then, blessed, I had a lot of requests coming to play solos, and I'd never been out to play solos as a drummer, but I got enough requests for it. I was like, finally, I'm just going to put myself in an uncomfortable situation, force myself to solo about 3, 4, 5 minutes a show. That brought in the double bass pedal.
Okay.
And so now, I use double bass in Jake's Leg every night, actually, in the solos. So I usually I call it heavy tribal. So it's like the double bass background, it's just straight up triplet or straight kick doubles. And then I do like a tribal toms over it, you know. And then obviously if you play metal, you can make yourself sound like Machine Gun at anytime you want, you know. So I do a lot of paradiddle work on top of it instead of straight strokes until I get to those straight strokes, and then I make it 30-second notes real quick or something, you know.
Nice.
But so the heavy is in there. Yeah, and,
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And that is kind of a thing with Dead shows. Is the Dead always did drums? It's
See,
part of the show.
Yeah.
That's
it's
why I
just,
was
it's part
going
of
to
the
throw
show.
it to you. I can't remember, what did they call that part of the show?
It's
Where
called
was-
we called it drums, and
Okay.
and drums to me, every show that I saw the Grateful Dead play that they did drums always landed one of two ways. Either you were way into it and or you're just sitting down on the lawn smoking, you know, and it could go either way. But there were certain times that the drums were the highlight of the show to you, you know.
You know, I tell you what, my admiration goes out to people that do it every night. I've been doing it every night for just a few years, and I ended up adding the entire electronic side to my drums now. I have a octopad set up. So what I'm doing now is I do the acoustic drums, and then to bleed into the pad, and then I can run 3 loops back there with my pedal. The end result's 4 drummers. So then it climaxes that, and I got some switches back there. I can turn them off, and I got all smart back there. My drum tech's been like, "Oh, you're running loops." I was like, "Oh yeah, these little foot switch, turn them on, turn them off," you know. And it's a do or die situation when you run a drum loop. I'll tell you that. You know,
If it goes awry, it's going to go awry.
Auto sync, you know, but actually I do it dry. So the auto syncing can go against you as well. You know, the synchronizations of the beats. You play it, and when it comes back around, it corrects everything for you. So I stopped. I did it a couple times. Really burned me once or twice, and so now how it's going to come out, do or die.
If the auto sync doesn't see the one at the same place you see the one, it's not right.
But with electronics, I am very surprised at how much feel you can put into the electronics now. Roland's the best. I mean, it's hard to go wrong. For sure.
And even their pads, like those mesh pads, because that's the thing about a lot of early electronic drums were pieces of plastic that it doesn't feel like a drum. Those meshy pads are not exactly like a drum, but I've got some of those, and that you can bounce off of them and do, it feels closer to a real drum. I give Roland props on their sounds and their drum heads.
You know, next year, incorporating kick and snare triggers, the Roland Brain, mainly for compression or, in bigger places and stuff like that. We can do a lot of cool things with it besides, delay it or, then we'll be able to loop the kick snare beat and be able to pull away from the drum set entirely to focus on the electronic looping with the kick and snare still going. That's going to be, I think that's about all I got, folks.
Yeah.
He's going to be using Vinnie Paul triggers.
I'm trying to be 5
Dead.
drummers. It's a lot of fun, and I can't tell you guys, thank you so much, Dennis and Anthony. Man, you guys are the best,
for coming.
man.
Hey, seriously, and if anybody doesn't have tickets to go see this,
December 12th.
It's December 12th at the Conservatory. This is, like you say, it's one of the great stages in town. It really is. I props to Caleb, the guys who run sound down there, because they have a sound system that they do well within that room, and it's just going to be a fabulous party. If you don't have tickets, get your tickets now, because I predict they'll be sold out. They're going to be sold out.
For
soon.
sure. I bet people are kind of looking at the weather. Kind of thinking, man, I don't want to buy a ticket and then, it gets iced on or whatever might happen. But
well, it's just so everybody knows, it is earlier than maybe everybody's used to seeing shows around here, because the doors are at 7. We're actually opening the venue at 7. And then we got the Pickin Daisies, which I play percussion in. It's so much fun with them, playing up in front. I think till probably about, 8:30 or something like that.
I got you.
And then Jake Slade will go on at 9, and we'll wrap about midnight.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Good
So,
time.
if you're waiting to get tickets, just go ahead and get them.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's only going to be 150.
If you wait, you might not make it. If you wait, you might not get in. So.
Well, we hope to see you guys all out. And I got you guys. Yeah.
I got you, babe.
I got you guys.
See, I told you tonight's young, man. He's a good-looking guy. Now he's telling me he's got me. I'm just saying, everybody heard it here. He's got me. No, I don't know. I'm sorry. Anyway.
You guys are too kind.
Hey, thanks for coming down. Thanks for hanging out like always. Always a good time to sit and chat with you. Man, JL50.
JL50, right?
It's huge.
Fun to say.
It's crazy. And I remember, we went over some of the list of things to do this weekend. If you want to know more, because there's a lot we skipped, just go to cottonmouth.org, and this list of things that are happening will pull up immediately. So,
yeah, lots of stuff there to help bands out. Try to find gigs, try to get places to get play your music and stuff like that. All there, man. Trying to build just a little bit of a worksheet to help bands out. And if you want to contribute to that, just send us an email. I'd love to add another link. So
he's building more than a worksheet. It's community. See,
Dennis is a gem for the community here of music.
Absolutely.
He's been that way all my life.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
The
That
legend.
means a lot. I'm glad
Wait,
See?
Johnny
Bash. Johnny Bash.
No, I remember I changed it. Johnny Mosh.
Johnny Mosh. It's Johnny Mosh.
He has a right to.
See, actually, he's got 3 names: Johnny Bash Mosh. No. All right. Hey, well, thanks again,
Thank
Ryan,
you,
for
guys.
coming down. Everybody get out
Absolutely.
Jake's Leg again, December 12th at the Conservatory. It's going to be hard to beat a show like that. It's going to be intimate. It's going to be fun. Everybody get your tickets now because they're going to sell out. Thanks for coming down, Mr. Ryan. I look forward to seeing the show. Thanks to everybody for listening, and everybody get out and support local music and art.